Hey Lawn Care Nation, in this video I want to talk to you guys about a service that you can provide in the off season for your lawn care business to keep that income rolling in. Coming up. So one of the services that I've utilized over the past few years during slow periods as well as the off season in my lawn care business has been rubbish removal. Now, if you're not familiar with rubbish removal, basically all it is taking people's garbage to the dump for them because they have no means of doing it. They don't have a pickup truck, they don't have a trailer to get rid of that stuff. And what ends up happening is that people have all this clutter build up in their garages, in their basements, their crawl spaces, and that sort of thing. Rubbish removal isn't really talking about or discussing household garbage like banana peels and food waste and things like that that you might find in your garbage can underneath your kitchen sink. Like I said, it's all usually about the clutter portion of it. Now, rubbish removal is big business. In fact, one of the, if not the biggest, largest rubbish removal companies, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, started out here in my hometown of Vancouver, British Columbia, with its founder and one single pickup truck, and is now, across the world in multiple countries with those famous blue and white trucks and clean uniforms. And so over the past few years, like I said, I've used this in my lawn care business. When I was originally part of the franchise system in a lawn care business, I remember one of the other franchisees always saying and toting the phrase that trash is cash, and that he loved doing rubbish removal. And the reason he loved doing rubbish removal is because you would be amazed at what you'll find people want to throw out. They just don't want to deal with some items that are perfectly good and perfectly reusable. And what this gentleman would do is that he would go quote a rubbish removal job, he would collect, load up all the stuff, but he would then pick out all of the items that he deemed reusable or resellable, and he would either put them on Craigslist or take them to like local swap meets and sell those items in addition to being paid for hauling them away to the dump. And I saw this pattern more and more and more. So he would then, make some extra money on top of that rubbish removal job by selling some of those items, and then the remainder he would take to the dump. The other important thing to note is that a lot of dumps will have exemptions for certain products when you do rubbish removal. For instance, metal objects. So if I go to my dump and I've got a whole bunch of rubbish removal jobs to do, and I've got like a load of steel or different types of metal and stuff, I don't have to pay to get rid of that stuff. That stuff is all exempt from any fees because it's all recyclable. So I just have to keep it separated and put it off to the side, and then I'm not paying for those items. So I'll tell you a quick story about one of the rubbish removals I remember doing in my lawn care business that was pretty amazing to me. And that was one time where I went to go do this quote for rubbish removal. The person walked me around to their backyard. They had a 3-story house with the basement suite being sort of underground, at a sunken sort of level, and there was a staircase leading down to the entranceway of this basement suite. And at the bottom of those stairs was about 20 garbage type bags and a couple of little odds and ends of carpet and stuff like that. It looked like they had been doing a renovation of that basement suite. So I didn't even bother going down the stairs. I just looked down, saw the carpet and stuff, and just figured, hey, this is all, just renovation debris. So I gave him a quote. I believe it was for about $120 to just, take, everything was already bagged up except for the little rolls of carpet and stuff. So I just quoted him the $120 to carry all that stuff to my trailer and then go take it to the dump. He agreed, paid me on the spot, and he had to leave. So after I loaded up all of the carpet, I then went for the bags and quickly discovered that the bags were full of pop cans and pop bottles. So I started to check the other bags, and they were all exactly the same. It was just all recyclable pop cans and pop bottles. And where I live, all pop cans, pop bottles, beer cans, all that sort of stuff, all have a deposit on them. So they carry a 5-cent deposit on cans and a 20-cent deposit on bottles. So I was just like, really? Like, you're throwing out, this is money you're throwing out basically. But they just, I guess, didn't have the time to deal with it. So I loaded up all the bags, and I went with the amount of carpet that I had. I didn't even have enough to justify going to the dump, so I just took it home and put it in my own garbage cans. It was that little amount of just remnant pieces of cut carpet, and with the pop cans, pop bottles, I took it to a recycling depot, opened up the bags, sorted out the cans, and I made another $50 in recyclable deposits returned on top of the $120 that I made for just getting rid of the stuff for them, hauling it in my trailer, and really not even making a trip to the dump on that particular job. In previous jobs, I've picked up garden hoses, extension cords, a shop vac, a car battery charger, like all sorts of stuff that people just want to declutter. They just want to get rid of this stuff. They have no use for it anymore, and you can't just throw it in your garbage bin to get rid of. And actually, a funny thing happened this past week as I was thinking about recording this video. Down in the area that I live, there's a swap meet every Sunday, and I happened to be driving by while heading to one of my kids' sporting events, and I looked over, and you can see all of the tables and vendors set up, and there was a van set up with some tables and some items on the tables, and on the van was a rubbish removal company name. So obviously this idea of doing rubbish removals, collecting people's unwanted items, and then not only going to the dump to get rid of what you can, but also reselling some of those items that are still useful and still have a purpose, is obviously being done by others as well. Another great resource that you can utilize to increase your profit in rubbish removal is donating items to Goodwill. So if you're not into flipping those items on Craigslist or just sorting through them, a lot of those good reusable items you can take to your local Goodwill and just donate them. And now you've saved yourself the time as well as the dump fees of taking those items to the dump, and you're still pocketing your rubbish removal fee from your clients. So it's just, an interesting service, and like I say, it's a booming business, particularly closer to the spring with spring cleanings that people do. But really, any sort of time of year, we're coming upon Christmas, the Christmas season, and people are going to be going into their crawl spaces and basements to dig out Christmas lights and stuff, and they'll find clutter that's getting in their way and that sort of stuff. So I find that all throughout the off season here in lawn care is a great time to be targeting rubbish removal. The other great thing about doing rubbish removal in your lawn care business is that it utilizes things that you already have. You already have a pickup truck that you can use for rubbish removal. You already probably have a flat deck trailer, an enclosed trailer, a hybrid trailer, some sort of trailer that you can load large items onto and take to the dump. So that's why I think it's a fantastic fit in the off season for a lawn care business. And like I say, throughout the season as well, my regular clients that I do lawn care for on a weekly basis know that I do rubbish removal, and they will ask me if I can remove items for them. And in some cases I'll say I'll ask them if they're in a rush to remove it, and if not, then I'll put out some feelers to other clients and say, hey, I'm going to be doing a rubbish removal job for somebody. Do you have anything that you want to take, and we can utilize everybody sort of coming in together at the same time to fill my trailer, and then kind of spread out the costs among those people. I use that sort of as a selling point for them to pick up those extra rubbish removal jobs at that time and do a bunch of them at the same time. So that's it for this one, guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've ever done rubbish removal in your lawn care business and what sort of items you found that were recyclable or reusable. So that's it for this one. Here's to wishing you guys all overwhelming success and freedom in your lawn care business. Bye for now.